as I was thinking about what I wanted to say today, I thought back to an interesting story I heard yesterday on NPR about children, and specifically about you never know what they're going to pick up on and remember at a young age, especially when they're triggered too, such as when you make them feel a little guilty about it, or you make sure they know they did something pretty silly. So I want to share something today that comes up at every family gathering or whenever I go back home and see my father. He likes to give me crap about it still. So, I can't remember exactly how old I was, but about this tall, fairly young. But I remember everything else about it. It was a summer in Faribault, Minnesota, at a campground. I don't remember the name of the campground, but I remember the sights, the smells, the temperature. Living the dream. And I remember it was in late October, and this particular campground was hosting a haunted house. While we were waiting in line for that haunted house, I remember a lot of things. I remember fireflies flying around, and I remember my father reaching up trying to grab one, and right when he's about to snatch one, a bat flew in and grabbed it. But the really funny part was when he strangely asked me, "Brandon, run back to the camper and grab us a couple of warm coats." Warm coats, I thought. That's kind of strange. Why would you specify warm coats? That's not what my mind heard. He told me that the warm coats were underneath the driver's seat of our Suburban. So I run back to the camper, open up the door, and I pushed the coats out of the way to find 2 warm cans of Coke. That's what my mind heard. Grabbing those Cokes, my mom was at the camper that night. I don't think she was feeling well. She's like, "That's kind of a weird request." I'm like, "That's what he said." Walking back with my Cokes in hand like this. He just starts laughing and laughing and laughing. I'm like, "What?" Snapped a picture. I really wish I could have found that picture for you guys today. Me standing there with my warm Cokes walking up. So if there's a moral to the story today, I would say anyone who has children or grandchildren, when they do something silly like that, make sure they know they did it. That way you can share that memory with them someday. Mr. Toastmaster.